Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining me on this Tuesday. We're going to spend a little bit of time doing a briefing on profile creation, both person and location profiles. Now, there are more than 20 ways to do this. Now, we're not going to cover every single one of them, but we're going to give you a high-level overview of the process. We're going to go ahead and get started. When you first log into your archive, the first thing that you see is your catalog. By clicking on that catalog, we're going to open to our basic quick create page. This is where you can enter information individually and just start populating your archive. You'll notice that we can do person profiles, location profiles, address book, or we can just start with uploading media. That's another day. Today, we're going to start with person profile. We are going to click on Create New, and that is going to give us our quick profile form. You'll notice that even though I clicked on the person, we still have the option to switch to location if we choose. So I have been working on our AI family tree. We have decided to create our own little Archoral AI family, and that way I can take them on any journey that you would like so that I can show you how our application works. So with that, I am going to add in Samuel James Monroe. The first thing I want to note is I happen to know his first, middle, and last name. I don't have to. I just need one of any of the three fields. So if all I know is his name is Samuel, that's perfectly fine. We can find the rest of the information later as we go. If I want to choose a prefix, we have got tons in here for you to choose from. This is also a quick find field. Look at that. For suffix, we also have all kinds of international suffix and different things from pretty much everywhere. So you can choose whatever you need. For Samuel, we don't know that information, so we're going to go ahead and leave it blank. We know that Samuel is a male. His gender identity, we're not sure of, but we know he was born a male, so we're going to leave it blank. If we did know, there are lots of options here for you to use. Traditionally, men are blue and women are pink. Well, that's just your sex at birth. If you choose a gender identity, the appropriate flag will become your border ring. So the other thing is life status. This is a required field. You can choose living, deceased, or unknown. We believe that Samuel is living. We have a date of birth and a birth location. Our date of birth field is pretty unique. When we open it, we can go straight to date. Instead of going click, 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 click all the way down to where you need to go, we can just type in 1973. Then we choose our month, April. And you can see that our calendar has recentered to feature April of 1973, and I'm going to choose the 3rd. Our birth location opens up our map. This is our address locator. We have current address, vintage, and partial. So depending on what you need, how historic the person is that you're inputting, we can do that from here. I don't know exactly where Samuel was born, but I know that he was born in Oakland, California. So Google Maps is going to find Oakland, California and drop a nice little pin for me. And I'm going to hit submit. So all that's required is one name, the life status, and the privacy type is going to default to private. If I'd like to upload a profile image, I can do that here from my desktop. But we don't have one of him yet, so we're going to skip that part. So if I want to save and add details, that's going to take me to Samuel's profile. Now, what's so unique about our profiles is you don't have to find the family in any order. You can just put in people as you find them, as you know them. You don't have to know their relationship connections. If you find a name, create a profile card, and you can add information to it however you find it. So let's go back to our profiles. So now we can see that Samuel James has a profile card. Now, what if I wanted to do 2 entries? at the same time. I'm going to click on Jacqueline. Now, Jacqueline, in her timeline form, already has a couple of relationships. But you know what? I have discovered that Samuel is Jacqueline's brother. So we're going to create a related person. We're going to put Samuel in. We're going to pick him. He is familial. His type of connection is biological. He is a sibling. And since we're looking at focus person, we're on Jacqueline's profile. So Jacqueline is the focus person. She is the sister. So keep that in mind when you're going through. The focus person is always the profile that you're sitting on. The related person is who you're adding into that profile. So it's automatically populated the related person as sibling. And she is the sister, and we're going to save and close. Now, that was a one-on-one. I created the profile individually. Then I went to a profile and created the relationship. Now, if I want to do two together, I'm going to pull up my research form. I'm going to throw it side by side. And I have discovered that Jacqueline gave birth to a daughter. This is where I'm going to put two in at one time. So let's give ourselves a little bit of room here. So we are still on Jacqueline's profile, and I'm going to add an additional relationship, and I'm going to start typing in Maya. Now you'll notice there's no profile found because I haven't created Maya yet. So I'm going to click Add a New Person. And I get the same form that I did in the Quick Create section. And again, one name, life status, and privacy type. Those are the only three things that you need. So what I know is her name is Maya, her middle name is Elise, and her last name is Johnson. And it says daughter, so she is a female. Her life status is living. But look, date of birth, all I have is that she was born in 2005. That's okay. When I click on date of birth, I go to unsure about the date. And this is going to give me an approximation window. I'm going to put about 2005. I don't know the month and I don't know the season. I'm going to hit submit. This is going to create a profile for Maya Elise Johnson, a female born about 2005. I don't know any of the other information, and that's perfectly fine. So I'm going to hit save and continue. So Archoral is creating a profile for her. So I will go back to related person and I will start typing in Maya, and look, there she is. So we're going to click her. We're going to say familial. Now, type of connection, it says gives birth to daughter Maya. So the connection is biological. And again, focus person, we are on Jacqueline's profile. So her role is going to be parent. And she is the mother, which automatically creates the related person as the child. And we're going to say daughter. Now, keep in mind we have gender neutral because we may not know the sex of the child. We also have conservatee and ward because those are considered dependents. In this case, we're going to pick daughter. We can do relationship status if we'd like, or we don't have to. And we're going to save and close. So let me get rid of this little window. And you will see that on Jacqueline's profile, we have given her a brother, Samuel, created individually, and then attaching the relationship. And we have given her her daughter, Maya, by creating the relationship and the profile at the same time. So that is one way to build your archive out. So if you have a client or yourself, I find that what I like to do is start on an individual profile and start by just adding the immediate family members, friends, associates, neighbors, coworkers. We have 14,000 relationship combinations you can use. So I like to start in a singular spot and build out as I go. Then when I'm getting into my media or conversations or any kind of research, when I find those sporadic people and those sporadic connections, I can make them from the media standpoint. So let's take a look at that. All right. So when I am in the media, let's take a look. We're going to stick with Jacqueline just for fun. So I'm going to select these 3 pieces of media, and I'm going to come up here and open them in the indexer. Okay. So here we are in our indexer, and this is where you have an opportunity to create profiles in a million different ways, because we don't force you to go back to the beginning. You can create them where you are, where you're standing within your archive at the moment. So as you can see, I've already indexed some of these. One of the ways that I was able to do it is by clicking on people. And when I had the option to start tagging the faces of these people, I can create their profile cards right then and now. The same window is going to show up with the same 3 required fields. So again, you don't have to know everything. You just need to get started. I want to give you a little tidbit, this link to person profile down here. This is great for when someone has their back to the camera or the face is obscured and not really identified by facial recognition. You can still link that person to that piece of media. And the link person profile gives you the same option of starting with a name and creating a new person. All right, so that's one way. You can create relationships from here as well. This particular photograph allowed me to discover that Jacqueline is the biological daughter of Harold. So this is Jacqueline, and this is Harold. Since I was looking at this particular piece of media and put 2 and 2 together, I was able to create that relationship from here without leaving the workflow that I was doing. Jacqueline is the adoptive daughter of Darlene. Now that just tells me that these 2 were not the original parents, the biological parents of Jacqueline. So as I learned that story, I was able to capture that piece. And it goes on from there. You can also add multiple relationships. You can add the entire context of someone's life. So let's explore a few more ways. Event details. This is going to tell me everything I need to know about Jacqueline and Michael's wedding. So in the event details, this is a union ceremony. My focus person, I chose to be Michael because that's who I was working on at the time. His betrothed is Jacqueline. Now I can create those profiles as I go here. So again, if I start looking like so, to add in another betrothed, because that is possible, it's very common in many cultures for polygamy. You can just start typing, add a new person, and in you go. So I think you're kind of getting the idea that anywhere you have the ability to connect a profile, you have the ability to make a profile. This is going to keep you from being interrupted in your workflow. The other thing that is really important to understand about a profile-based system is if I get any of these wrong, all I have to do is X them out and either leave them out or add in a new person. I don't have to completely redo the indexing for each piece of media. Okay. So we basically covered people, and it's pretty obvious that you can create a person from anywhere. And it is very basic. You don't have to have all of the information in order to create a person profile. So let's take a look at location profile. So we're just going to go here and work backwards to creating it singularly. In a location profile, think of a piece of dirt. It has a GPS coordinate. That piece of dirt is going to evolve throughout time. It started way back in the day as the grassy field, and then someone pitched a tent and somebody built a cabin and then somebody built a town and then it became a shopping plaza. That is the life duration of a location point. So if we are going to go in here and let's see, I already have a ceremony location. So let's put in a reception location. We're going to make a selection. You're going to see this a lot in the system too. You're going to have the ability to choose location, meaning creating that location profile, or just marking the location on a map. This is not going to create a profile, but it's going to allow you to keep that information and hold it as you go. Maybe you'll discover that it is important enough to create a profile, and you can tend to that later. But right now, we're going to start with location. And the reception, we're going to say Seattle Country Club. Oh, no Seattle Country Club. So I'm going to add a new location. We're going to give it a name. This is just like naming a person, but you're naming a place. So we're going to say Seattle Country Club. Now, some profiles I've just named as Mom's House or Grandma's Cabin. The name is what means something to you. It's what identifies and is unique to this location. So I can't have multiple Seattle country clubs with the same address, the same location, because they're the same space. So if you're wanting to break up something like that, that has maybe the same environment, but you want different points of it, just create individual profile names and then you can track everything individually. So location type, this is what it currently is. This is just a little bit of tracking to help you along the journey. You don't have to use a location type, but here we're going to choose recreational. Sub-location type, I could go crazy if I wanted to, but I don't really need to. Current address. This is going to open that map pop-up again, our address locator. So I'm going to start typing in Seattle Country Club, and let's see what I got. Oh, look at there, Sandpoint Country Club. That's the one we're going to choose. It dropped a pin. We're going to hit submit. Our privacy type is going to default to private. And if I would like to upload a profile image, I can. Remember on the person profile, there were only 3 fields that were mandatory: a singular name, life status, and the privacy type. Well, in location, you only have 2. You need a unique name and the privacy type is private. So when I hit save and continue, I had to create the profile in order to link it. So I start typing in Seattle Country Club, and there it is. All right. So let's go see how that connected everything. I'm going to hit submit. Right. So let's see what happened. I went to profiles. There's my location profile that I just created, the Seattle Country Club. I'm going to open it up. It gave me the current address. It gave me a timeline because remember, we were indexing the union ceremony of Jacqueline and Michael. And then it gave me linked profiles because these were the people that were notated in that image. So from one piece of media, I was able to create profile cards, relationships, event details where I could also create profile cards for people and locations. And by doing that once, it connected everything together. I think that wraps it up. Thank you for joining and happy archiving.